That's my thing. Is that I feel like if you are to define cereal as a soup, then where does it end? Someone in chat just said the ocean is a soup, and I guess by that definition, it is.
The ocean is a soup.
It's just it's full of fish. We eat fish. It's a soup.
Let's be best friends.
Hello, I'm Cole Sauer, and welcome to Let's Be Best Friends, a podcast where I talk to people that I barely know and try and convince them to be my new best friends, because in times like these, who needs enemies? My guest today is a fellow streamer and a software engineer. It's ThistleDew. Hello. Hello. How are you doing?
Hi, yes, it me. I'm good.
It you.
I'm good. I'm regretting not putting on pajama pants or not leaving my pajama pants on.
I don't understand how anyone, if you have nowhere to go, doesn't just wear pajama pants all day. I'm just a degenerate.
Pajama pants. Yeah. Maybe about 90% of the days now since I work remote.
Oh.
And
I miss it. I do. I miss it so dearly.
It's great.
Now every day of the week, I have to wake up. I have to put on like a nice pair of pants. I have to, be a presenting member of society. It's the worst. It's depressing.
Even during COVID right now?
Yeah, honestly, it is. I'll say it. The worst part of COVID is that I have to put pants on every morning. That's the worst part about it. So welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to everyone who's watching live right now. And if you're not watching live right now, if you're in the future where everything may be completely different, and I'm sure there's something huge and terrible that's happened that we're not going to touch upon today because we don't know about it because we're in the past. Whoa. Here on Let's Be Best Friends, we like to make sure that the conversation is as light and fun and fresh as possible with our guests. And in the aims of becoming best friends, the easiest way I find to figure out how you can become best friends with someone is by doing a hobby, doing something fun, just doing something very chill, something very low effort. And so I've asked what you wanted to do, and what we decided to do was drawing some Hollow Knight characters.
Yay!
So talk to me a little bit about... So first, talk to me a little bit about art. Are you do you do art regularly? Is it like something that you just kind of do for fun? Is it something you do as a side gig? What is it for you?
Yeah, it's a hobby. I used to do art a lot more regularly. Mm-hmm. I had this sketchbook, which is probably somewhere back there on my shelf, that I used to draw in all the time when I was younger. And then nowadays, I just don't really have very much time for it.
Right.
But I do kind of like little doodles. And then we spell them DEWDLE since I'm ThistleDew.
Branding is important. That's smart.
Then they're just kind of silly little digital doodles that I do.
Right.
I'm definitely most comfortable with like pencil.
Okay.
Graphite art. But yeah, it's fun.
So
people come up with the craziest ideas for me to draw sometimes.
So you started doing like just physical art. Is there like a specific reason that you've transitioned to doing more digital art, or is it like just for a stream thing, just as a fun thing to do?
Yeah, I think a little bit of both. I became addicted to the undo button. You can't do that with physical art, really.
It's true.
You can erase, but you can only erase it to an extent before the paper's like, no.
Yeah, you can only erase so much until you've just deleted too many layers of paper.
Exactly. And it's a lot less effort, mentally speaking, because one of the hardest things about doing pencil drawings for me is coming up with what to draw.
Okay.
And the fact that, it's going to be on this piece of paper and I can only erase it a limited number of times is like kind of daunting.
Yeah.
So I've definitely had a lot of struggles in terms of like what I should draw. Mm-hmm. And I feel like digital art is just so much easier to pick up, and I can, just kind of scribble something. If it's bad, I can delete it and no one will ever know.
It's got a bit of a different feel to it. It's almost like less committal, right? Because instead of like that, you're putting like graphite or ink on a page and you have to just deal with your decisions that you've made. It's like, I hate this drawing. Control N, new drawing.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so what about so we're doing specifically a Hollow Knight character. We decided it literally about 5 minutes before we started.
Oh my gosh. Villager is gonna love this.
I need you to understand that Villager is one of my favorite chat members, and they have been just out of their mind excited for this episode of the show.
Aw, Villager.
So, what is it with Hollow Knight? Like, what's your connection with Hollow Knight? Is it just like, did you just play it randomly on stream one day? Did it get you into streaming?
Yeah. So I came across Hollow Knight. Let's say it was on Reddit. They had posted in either our gaming or like game development that they had this project that was work in progress, and here's a trailer for it. And it looked incredible. So I went and wishlisted it immediately and got it the day after it came out. And I think part of the reason is there's a limited number of games that I can play.
Right.
I get very easily motion sick. Any game that's 3D, any game that has camera panning, like Super Mario 64 gave me motion sickness.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Because there's camera panning. But yeah, so like it's a rare game that I see that looks beautiful, looks really amazing, and that I can play. So I started playing it, and I actually, once I got to the first ending, I actually put it down for a couple of years. But then was on Twitch one day, kind of just like looking at streams, found a streamer who was playing Hollow Knight for the first time, and then was just so excited to see someone discovering Hollow Knight and having so much fun that it kind of motivated me to pick it back up. And at that point, they came out with like 3 free DLCs that I didn't know existed. And I was just like, wow, this is insane. So I started playing it, and then I just haven't really put it down since. At one point in time, I streamed primarily Heroes of the Storm.
Right. Okay.
And then wanted/tried to go a bit more variety, and then just ended up being a Hollow Knight streamer. It's it's a good game.
So would you say that you are more more ideally, would you rather be like a single game streamer, or would you rather be more of a variety streamer? Because I feel like they're very different like mindsets.
Yeah, I think ideally for me, it's just I want to stream and play whatever makes me happy.
Right.
Because if I'm excited about the game and I can share that excitement with people who are also excited about the game, like that has been the best for me. And so along those lines, I guess like I am totally fine with being a single game streamer if it's a game that I can just like play all the time, which Hollow Knight is. Somehow it has a magical amount of replayability. It really,
it's one of those games that I think every time I've ever picked it up, I've been like, oh, that's something new. Or like I talk to somebody and they're like, they mention like a character name, and I'm like, I have no idea who that is. And then I go and search it, and I'm like, oh, it's this, random background character who has all these different like connections to the story. And it's such a cool game.
Yeah, there's so many hidden areas and things in the game too. Yeah. Every time I watch a new stream, I feel like I learned something new. Either I didn't know that, there was this like hidden wall that you can walk through, or I didn't know there was a character hiding there. It's pretty crazy.
So what got you into streaming specifically? Like, did you just pick it up one day? Was it like you watched a bunch of Twitch and wanted to try it, or what got you started?
Yeah. So I started off playing Heroes of the Storm, and actually what got me started was I joined a Heroes of the Storm amateur league. This was years ago now, and I started streaming so that friends could watch our games. And once I had the setup, prior to this, I had never watched Twitch. And I even 6 months after I started streaming, I did not watch Twitch. I was just like, oh yeah, this is a thing where I can put up recordings and people can come and watch us play. But yeah, I don't know. At some point, I stopped playing Heroes of the Storm. At least, the amateur league season ended. And I was kind of like, this was kind of fun. It would be cool to just now that I have the setup, to just keep going. Yeah. And I think part of it too that kept me going, because when I first started, it was mostly just people I knew in real life who would just pop in and be like, go win your games. And then we would end stream and that would be it. But then as I played to, I mean, pretty much an audience of no one. Occasionally, people would pop in and they'd be like, yeah, Heroes of the Storm, I love this character. Or like, have you tried this build? And I just found that like really exciting to just like meet new friends who like the same game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just started as like a little hobby thing, and then it turned into like a community thing.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And so what got you away from Heroes? So I know Heroes of the Storm as a game kind of started to slow down after a while. I think Blizzard just kind of stabbed it in the face a few times. But like, was there a point for you where you were like, Heroes of the Storm, like, isn't it? Because it's a vastly different game than Hollow Knight is. That is it's a wildly different stream category.
Yeah, I mean, so Blizzard stabbing in the face is definitely, putting it, even, I would almost say putting it lightly, because they completely killed the pro scene.
Yeah.
A couple years ago. I've lost track of what years it is and when things happened. I want to say 2018, maybe 2019.
Right.
But they used to have like the HCC, the Heroes Global Championship, where they had like professional teams. They run tournaments. It was like super awesome. And people all had, it's like watching sports. Like people would have their favorite teams, and then we'd talk about it among our friends, like, oh, did you see the game on Sunday? Like, it was crazy how close it was and that sort of stuff. They killed it. And I think, it was just like, I went to my first BlizzCon ever that November, watched the HCC live, and it was like the coolest experience ever, because I'd never been to a live esports event before.
Right.
And they even were talking about like, hey, next year plans for Heroes of the Storm, like we're going to have a new season of HCC and all this stuff. And then December rolls around, and they just posted like a blog post / sent out an email to people being like, yeah, we're shutting this down.
Yeah,
there's not going to be a league. Yep.
Oof.
And I think that just like, it definitely was crushing, because it was just so much fun to watch. I've always been a very casual player, so it didn't really affect my like gameplay or my enjoyment of the game, but it definitely, like, there's so many people just left at that point,
right?
That it felt less hype. And also, I think over time, I just realized that MOBAs aren't great for my health / sanity.
No,
like,
they're not.
Multiplayer games are not. Like,
absolutely.
It just like, unless I was playing with friends, it is actually just way more stressful than I need.
Yeah, especially like, especially I think that people don't understand that like when you're playing a mobile game or a multiplayer game where you don't know your teammates and you're just trying to get better, or you're trying to climb ranks or whatever, and then there's just someone who like their internet is bad, or they're bad, or they like just don't know what they're doing, and it's the most frustrating thing that can ever happen.
It really is. Yeah. And then, I mean, some people don't even need a valid reason. They'll just be like, I don't like the hero you're playing, therefore I will pick on you all game. Every little mistake that you make, or even if you're not making any mistakes, I'll just be like, hey, I hate this hero.
Yeah.
And I hate you for picking it. So
We'd
I hope you have a
if
bad
you chose
day.
a different hero.
I know. It'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
My day is a little less good because of this.
When I first got into MOBAs, my roommate was like a diamond level League of Legends player or something along those lines. And he was like, let me teach you the first command that you'll ever need to know in League of Legends. And he just went in the chat and hit mute all. And he was like, boom, your day's going to be so much better. He was like, do that at the beginning of every game. And I was like, what if they didn't tell me something? He's like, they don't. You'll be fine. There's like pings in the game. You'll be fine. Yeah. And let me tell you, hey, PSA for anyone at home who wants to get into MOBAs or into MOBAs, he was right. Absolutely correct.
Yeah. Definitely muting people is the way to go. And then people get very creative, though. Sometimes, you have the team muted, but because pings exist, because sprays exist, I don't know if those exist in League of Legends.
They don't, but I think I know. They're kind of like the Overwatch sprays, right? Where they're like little things
you just kind of like spray a little emote on the ground.
Right.
people will find ways to annoy you with it no matter what.
It's crazy the amount of time people will spend on just making someone else's day slightly worse. Like,
Yeah.
so much time and energy and commitment that you could do literally anything else with your day. Like, you could go write a novel with this much energy.
Yeah. Exactly. So, you know, I don't really miss it too much.
That's fair. I think that's fair.
I miss it's time hanging out with friends, right?
Right.
You party up, you get in voice chat. But even then, like, sometimes people get tilted, sometimes I get tilted, and it's just kind of like, there are probably other games that I can be playing that'll bring more happiness.
I got a Marie Kondo my video game playing habits.
Yeah. I think I might have gone overboard with that, though. I am actually down to like 3 games that I play, and I don't play anything else.
I think that's fine, honestly. Like, I always said that, like, I always felt like I wasn't like a real gamer or whatever, because it was like, I play all these old GameCube games that I like. I don't play any new games that come out. Like, the only reason I've played any of the new games, even like just like Among Us and Fall Guys and stuff, is because I started streaming. If I hadn't started streaming, I would still just be like in my chair playing, you know, some weird obscure PS2 RPG from my childhood and be like, Cyberpunk? No. No, sir, not in this house.
Yeah.
So let's get into the draw ring. And I believe the character that we picked up, and somehow people in chat immediately got it.
Oh, they know, because all villager loves Zote. So for those in chat who are wondering, this was not a conscious decision. I went to the Hollow Knight wiki, and there is the ability to pull up a random article. And Zote the Mighty won the lottery today.
I got it. I'm so excited to draw Zote, honestly, because I think Zote was the first character that I like kind of met in Hollow Knight that I was like, oh, this is the greatest game ever made. I love this little curmudgeonly bastard. I love Zote.
Oh my god.
He's just so small and angry and tired.
I'm tired.
I love that.
Yeah. I think Zote is a very divisive character.
Really?
People either love or hate Zote, I think.
I love Zote. I can't imagine hating Zote.
I mean, he's kind of a jerk, just a little bit.
He's awful. He is an awful piece of shit, and I love him for that. Personally, I am so into that. It's
amazing game design.
Yeah,
to, evoke such strong emotions for a character.
That's what I mean. I feel like there's a bit of a problem in storytelling that there's. I feel like the problem that a lot of, especially like newer or less experienced writers will get into is that they don't write bad characters, like characters who are just not good people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even if they're on the hero's side necessarily, or even if they're, you know, working with the protagonist, it's like, no, they're still a bad person. Like, they do bad things and they're mean and people don't like them for these reasons.
Yeah.
I love Zote.
Checks those boxes.
Checks every single one of those. And it makes me very happy.
Yeah. And the best is like the devs are just, they totally just went all in on that with the like, how can I not remember it right now? Eternal Ordeal, where you just go and they let you beat up on him eternally, or let him beat up on you, TBH.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's the other thing that I like about Hollow Knight is that everything they add into the game is just expanding on kind of what they've already made. So it's like they have Zote as the character already. Some people love him, some people hate him, but then they give him like all this new stuff to do and like how to get involved in the world and stuff like that. So you're using you're using, it looks like Procreate, am I correct?
Yes, you are correct.
For anyone at home, you're right now seeing ThistleDew's screen when it comes to the drawing, and be very happy about that. Because
I want to see your screen.
don't worry. I will show you. I'll let you know at the end. I'll show you my finished product. My work I'm using Microsoft Paint. My work in progress is not going to be as interesting as yours.
Okay.
because as I'm getting started now, I'm already there's some decisions that I'm regretting.
Oh man. Okay, I can't wait to see this.
So when it comes to like starting off in streaming, what was your kind of experience like there? Because I know especially like when you're starting off as a woman on Twitch, it's abysmal. It's a nightmare. So did you have a lot of those kinds of issues? Did you like have ways of getting past them or getting over them? Did coming from a specific community maybe help you a bit in that aspect?
Yeah, I think definitely I feel like I lucked out with the Heroes community. It was definitely like, it's always a concern whether people come by and be huge trolls, and it has happened before,
right.
But luckily I feel like not quite as often as I would have expected. And starting off streaming Heroes of the Storm and having friends who played and would tune in. And I think generally the community, you know, MOBAs and toxicity go kind of hand in hand.
Yeah.
But I would say the like community is actually quite good. They're, yeah, I mean, people in chat were always just very happy to help and friendly and not too backseaty or anything like that. And yeah, it definitely helps. Like once I had people who were like regulars in chat, it kind of like deters some of the trolls.
Right. They
and
see
also,
they're outnumbered.
I mean, yeah. And also, honestly, like 99% of the time, I'm just hoping to fly under the radar. I'm like, I'm not a big enough streamer. It's fine. No one's going to come in here.
So it's interesting you say that, because I feel like most people, when they get into Twitch, it's kind of the exact opposite mindset of, rather than being like, you know, I'm just going to kind of be in my little corner here and I'm going to have fun over in my little corner. Other people will get into it and they're like, no, like I'm trying to get, you know, bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger all the time. Like I don't care about trolls and all these kinds of things. Would you rather stay like smaller with like a more tight knit community rather than getting to these like big, huge heights?
Yeah, I would think I would definitely prefer to keep like a cozy, like tight community, where people feel comfortable just coming and hanging out. And I think a lot of it is because like this is a hobby for me. It's one that I really care about, and I spend a lot of time on. But at the end of the day, I'm not trying to make a living off of it.
Right.
I think that helps a lot. It helps me figure out like what makes me happy, and you know what sort of vibe and community I would like.
Right.
And it's so for me, it's less like I don't really try to chase like the aggressive growth and having tons of people in chat and like not caring about, you know, the quality of the conversation and that sort of stuff. It's more like I love meeting people who also play Hollow Knight or who just like want to hang out and talk about random stuff. Like I think the other night we talked about Harry Potter with guns, which I went and saw the trailer and I was just like, this is incredible. Yeah.
Wait, what is Harry Potter with guns? What is this?
Someone had a lot of time,
right,
and apparently edited the entire first Harry Potter movie so that whenever they used wands, instead they were shooting guns. Yep.
I love the internet sometimes.
Isn't it just great?
That is, I always say that I hate the internet until they do something cool, and then I like it for like a week, and then I'm back on the hate train. Yeah,
it's a emotional roller coaster.
It is.
For sure.
It is, especially being like a figure, a public figure on the internet. It's like you see all these things and you're just, I get so tired. The discourse.
Yeah. You're like, why does this exist? Like half the time. And the other half of the time, you're like, why didn't this exist sooner? This is amazing.
Yeah, that's I think actually that's the best descriptor of it, honestly, is that it's half the time you're just like, why is this happening? And the other half you're just like, this is the greatest thing ever. How did we not get here faster?
I just had a thought. Should I draw Tiny Zote? Should I draw the like big dream fancy Zote?
I'll say I'm currently drawing Tiny Zote. I have a reference in front of me. So if you want to draw tiny Zote, you totally can. If you want to draw big Zote, you can also do that. Zote the Mighty.
Zote the Mighty. Nah, I'm gonna go Tiny. I think Tiny Zote is just hilarious.
I love every time he showed up. I remember the first time I played through it because I was just like, I had so many people telling me how great it was, and I had seen it, so I like knew how pretty it was and like just how much detail and these kind of things were in the art, so I was already interested in it. And then I saw the speed run for it, and I was like, oh, this game looks so cool. Like the movement is so cool.
Yeah.
And so I finally got into it, and then every time Zote would pop up, I'd be like, oh, it's a good day. What's up, Zote? How are you doing, man? What wacky bullshit have you gotten yourself into?
Did you go and read all 57 precepts?
I did not. I looked them up because I was like, I was on stream doing it, and I was like clicking through them. I was like, there's no way there's actually 57. And so I just like started just mashing the button to see if there were, and I got to the end, and I was like, Jesus, we did it, boys. It was a struggle
actually
itself.
57.
It's just the care and energy that the developers put into all these little things like that is just so great to see.
It really is.
So talk to me a little bit about your gaming past, your gaming history. What kind of got you into video games?
Sure. So my first game console ever was the N64.
Nice.
Yeah, and the N64 had so many good games.
So many.
I played so much Star Fox 64, actually.
Ooh, okay.
And I feel like that kind of got me into gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it is like you can actually beat Star Fox 64 in one sitting.
Really?
Yeah. As a kid, I had limited video gaming hours.
Okay,
I would say my parents were what you would consider like very traditional Asian parents.
Okay.
And so my like video gaming hours are pretty restricted. And so like actually being able to sit down and play a game from start to finish was just the coolest thing for me. The first time I beat Star Fox 64, I was like, it's actually not that long of a game. And you can replay by like going different routes and stuff.
Right, yeah.
So I think that's like what started my video game, like my interest in playing video games. And honestly, it might have also started my like current habit of just replaying the same game over and over. Not gonna lie, just like sitting down being like, I feel like playing this game.
Yeah.
Yet again.
I could play this new game, but I could play Star Fox 64 again.
Yeah, and then have the satisfaction of beating the game.
I've never beaten Star Fox 64, honestly. Because I also was an N64 kid when I was my first console. But when I was growing up, I was a Sega kid and my brother was a Nintendo kid. So like I was like Sonic. I'm like, Mario sucks. Mario can like suck an egg. I don't need him in my life. I'm just going to be a Sonic kid my whole life. Big mistake. Huge mistake for me. So then when it came to N64, the only games I really played on it were I played the Donkey Kong Country game and I played Pokemon Stadium, and that was like it. And I played it all the time. And so I didn't play Star Fox 64 till I was like a grown adult, like playing it, like buying an N64, buying Star Fox 64 and being like, click, let's do this. And that is legitimately, I think, one of the hardest games I've ever played.
Really?
I find that game so hard. And I think it's just simply because I suck at video games deep in my heart. Deep in my heart of hearts, I am an awful gamer.
I'm not that great. I'm just very persistent. I think like the number of runs of Star Fox I've done, the number of deaths I have in Celeste, which anytime I look at anyone else's death count, I'm like, okay. The game tells me I should be proud, but I'm also a little ashamed.
Yeah. I think that's the hardest balance to strike when it comes to like playing a game you really enjoy is that the game will be like, hey, you're doing great. Can I just say, like, you're making all this progress, you're living the dream, and then you go on like the internet and see what other people are doing, and you're like, I am awful.
Yeah, exactly.
I am dirt. And
there's always someone out there who's gonna just make you feel like you're just. It's like, why do I even play this game?
And see, I don't know about you, but I am so hyper competitive because I grew up like I had a big brother. I'm like a little brother. So I got like little brother syndrome. And like, you know, I grew up on a street where all the kids are bigger than me and they all were into like, you know, hockey and football and like all these sports that I couldn't play. So like when it came to gaming, I was like, I'm going to be the greatest. Like I'm the greatest Smash player of all time. Like I'm going to become like the greatest at Mario Kart. Like I don't want any of you around me. And the internet got invented and I was like, fuck. They got me. Yeah. I'm done. I'm cooked. I can't praise both my status.
Yeah. I can't say I'm not competitive. Like, so I'll see people do crazy things. Like, I watch Hollow Knight speedrunners, and I'm like, I want to do that. I want to be this good.
Yeah.
It's hard, but at the same time, like, I always want to be improving. Not so much to be like, oh, I'm the best at this, but there is some personal satisfaction in just, you know, doing something slightly better or slightly faster.
Yeah, right. There's a satisfaction, I think, in just getting better. And I think that's like the weird thing about gaming that, you know, it's like the intangible thing about gaming because anyone can play video games or almost anyone can play video games. So anyone has an equal shot of getting better. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's not like that, like football and hockey and all these things where it was like, no, like you're just small. Like you can't be on the defensive line, man. You can't do it. I have to tell you.
That's so true, though. I absolutely have always sucked at sports. But video games are the one thing that's like, hey, with enough persistence and, you know, enough like wrist stretches, so I'm not just destroying my hands.
Absolutely.
I can get better. And that's what's been really addicting about speedrunning too. I did not expect to. I was hesitant about speedrunning for the longest time because I figured I might just feel bad about myself and I can't get better.
Right.
Or I'm not as good as, you know, whomever I'm watching on Twitch or YouTube. But part of it is I think I've mellowed out a lot over the last like decade. Thistle like 10 years ago probably would have been like, no, I want to be number one on this leaderboard and I will like, you know, stress out about it.
Yeah.
But Thistle now is like, I beat my PB by like 10 seconds. I am very happy. I'm very proud of myself right now. And I'll like give myself a pat on the back and then like we'll do it again tomorrow.
That's the way to do it, though, honestly. I think the problem that people get into, and I think that's kind of like people trip themselves up about speedrunning, I find a lot, because they're just like, you know, and I fall into this trap all the time where it's like, you know, if I'm not the best, if I'm not like, you know, improving by, you know, 10 minutes and discovering all these new things and you're playing every day, then like, what am I doing here? But like, I think you've got the right mentality to just be like, no, like this is a game I really like and I just want to have fun doing it. And if people want to like also have fun doing it, like that's great too.
Yeah. And it's always, I like the journey of learning. It's incredible. Just like the exploits and skips and things that people can find in a game.
Yeah.
And I just really enjoy learning about them and being like, I want to try that. I don't know if you would ever want to, you know, do like the routing for a speed run or like be the one poking around to find glitches.
I'm a poker. I really am. I'm not good at it because as we talked previously, I am absolute dog water when it comes to technology. So like other people will like crack into the game and they'll like, you know, find the frame data and like, you know, all these kinds of things. And I'm just there like, hey, did you guys know if you could kind of do a little weird jump here? I don't know how you do it. I did it once though. It was kind of cool.
Yeah. Or you're just like the game stores data here. And if you overwrite it in just the right way, you can trick it into thinking you have like XY items or like this thing is here. Yeah. it's incredible. I don't think I would ever be capable of doing that, but I just love reading up on that sort of stuff. It's just this fascination.
Yeah, the thing that always gets me about it is when you either go to like a small community who's just figuring out the run and just figuring out the routes and stuff, or you go to a bigger community and you can see all the history of like, 2 years ago we found this trick and it completely just destroyed the meta. Like we completely changed how the game is looked at. I love shit like that.
Yeah. Are there games, I'm sure there are out there, where they've discovered some game-breaking trick that just absolutely like almost just like kills speedruns?
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's like, well, you can just skip to the end. There's like very little that you need to do here.
Well, even like Ocarina of Time has the famous skip where you can like just backflip to Ganondorf.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, imagine being the first guy to figure that out. Like imagine being the first person to sit down and be like, oh guys, by the way, I beat it in 12 minutes. Like I think the run before was like 2 or 3 hours. And they're like, yeah, no, it's 12 minutes. Just backflip through. I think you'd backflip through the Great Deku Tree and you're there. It's good.
Yeah. You just feel like a god and everyone's just like, what? How?
Yeah. That's why I always like looking into smaller speedruns and being like waiting to see who's going to be that guy or that girl or whoever, like who's going to be that person to like completely destroy a speedrun. Like, has speedrunning something you've been like interested before, or has it come kind of out of loving Hollow Knight and it being such a big like part of the community?
Yeah, it was definitely not something I was interested in before. Mm-hmm. And I don't think I ever really played any games where I felt like I had that like need for speed. Like I want to do this fast. Yeah. I think Hollow Knight kind of got me by surprise. It was kind of this incremental step-by-step, I play Hollow Knight. I started doing all the like boss fights and the Pantheon fights. Mm-hmm. And then, one of my friends got me into running randomizers, and
that's
randomizers is so fun. It like makes the game just so replayable. It's so different. You have to like go through areas in vastly different orders from what you're used to. Mm-hmm. But what really got me interested in speedrunning was there's a Hollow Knight Racing Discord /community where they post a randomizer seed for everyone to do in a week. And everyone who runs that seed can post their final times when they finish the randomizer in the Discord. And you can see, like, oh, so-and-so did this week's rando in 2 hours. Someone did it in 1.5. Someone did it in 5. And it becomes kind of like, it's a randomizer race. So you try to do it as fast as you can. And I think that's what got that spark of like, I got to go fast started.
Gotta go fast.
Yeah. And so it's almost like backwards because I guess I could reasonably say I started speedrunning so I can get faster at randomizer.
I think that's so cool though. Like again, there's so much like I feel like the randomizer community, like in any game, is always the kind of like the small like redheaded stepchild of the community where they're just kind of over there screwing around with randomizers and trying to figure that end out. But I think it's so cool that the Hollow Knight community has just embraced randomizers and been like, no, like this is how we race. Like,
yeah, they the 4th anniversary like speedrunning marathon had a rando race in it too.
I love that.
I just love that. Also, the randomizer mod is constantly being worked on, and they're just always randomizing more and more things. You come back a couple of weeks later and you're like, oh, they randomized what now? Like soon the entire game will just be randomized.
When I first discovered randomizers, I immediately put on chaos mode, which for anyone at home, don't do that. It's it's bad. I randomized everything and turned on chaos mode, and I was like, all right, let's figure this out. And it is...
Wait, so what does it do?
So chaos mode makes it so you can't heal. You can't. It's basically. I think it's like you can't heal. Everything's like harder to kill. You like do less damage. Like there's all these different things that it puts on. And then I also had like randomize the rooms, randomize like the enemies, randomize the bosses, randomize the items, randomize the badges. Let's go.
So did you finish the run?
Absolutely not. I spent, I think, 3 hours doing it, and I was like, I am burning my life away right now. I have no idea how to possibly make progress right now.
Oh man. Well, props to you for just being like, okay, I'm done with this, because I feel like there are definitely people out there who'd be like, no, I'm sticking this through. I don't care if it takes me 50 hours. I don't care if it takes me the rest of my life. You're sticking this through.
And I respect those people. I gotta say, they have more gumption than I do.
More tolerance for pain.
Yeah. I look at it like I'm like sitting there and I'm like, if something takes me, I think I legitimately didn't make any progress for like an hour and a half. And I think that's what did it for me, is I was like, I'm not getting anywhere. Nothing that I do right now will get me any farther in this video game. And so I'm good. Like I'm good on that.
Yeah. There actually is a similar setting for Hollow Knight Randomizer, which I have never enabled, and I'm not sure I ever will. But it does the same thing where, like, you know how there's the focus ability, like the ability to heal.
Right, yeah.
You have to find that before you can use it.
Find it?
It's a randomized ability.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
And then I think pretty much like any non-crucial item that you pick up, instead of being like a relic or whatever the item is, it gives you 1 geo. Just like, here, have one penny.
One penny for you, sir. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got too much ADD is my problem. I literally, like, I'll sit down, I'm like, I'm going to have fun playing a video game. And then if I can't get anything done in an hour, I'm like, well, and I'm good. I have the same problem. My roommate gets on me all the time because I can't play open world games. Like I'll like the big sandboxy like AAA open world games. I can't do it. I sit there for like, you know, I sit through all the opening cutscenes and the tutorial and like this character and that character and this is why you have to care and this is the beginning of the story. And then I get distracted by 12 different things. My quest like library gets full up and I'm like, oh, this is awful. To quit. I'm gone. I'm gonna go play Mario. I'm good.
I have a problem in that I cannot, for the life of me, pay attention during cutscenes or long dialogue.
You just don't know.
People like make fun of me all the time for not reading dialogue. But if a character is gonna sit there and talk to you for more than like 2 screens, I just can't. I don't have the patience for it.
Yeah, I just can't do it.
Yeah, which is really bad. I'm pretty sure I did not know what any of the Hollow Knight lore was for the longest time, just because I did not read like any of the dialogue.
Me neither. Absolutely. I had so much stuff explained to me of people going like, oh yeah, and you know when you like meet this bug, and I'm like, yeah. Like I for sure know who you're talking about. Who could forget that person?
Oh yeah, I definitely remember them saying that.
Of course I do. Who doesn't remember that very iconic moment that definitely happened for me?
Yeah. It's luckily Hollow Knight is one of those games where you don't actually need to read the full dialogue to like finish the game or like know what to do next.
Yeah.
Games where like people tell you where to go, I'll sometimes just be lost forever trying to figure out where.
The day that I figured out that walkthroughs exist on the internet, I finished so many more games.
Walkthroughs are amazing, yeah.
Oh, especially like when I was a kid, I was really into like RPGs. Like I was really into like those weird, you know, 2004 era PS2 games where like they were just cranking out JRPGs, and I played all of them. And I would get like halfway through and they'd be like, go talk to Baccharis in Xehanort. And I'm like, oh, I don't know where either of these things are. I have no clue what we're doing. What's happening?
Yo, pair my like inability to read dialogue with just like the worst memory for names and places.
Yeah.
And also being like highly directionally challenged. Yeah. And it's just like, cool, yeah, I'll go there. I totally remember where that is. Please, I hope it's on the map.
Opening up I remember back I used to we didn't have like laptops or cell phones or anything. We just had like the one family computer that was in like the room with the gaming TV. And so like I would try and like hold the controller like this while I'm like reading off of like GameFAQs.com, like trying to play the game at the same time. And I'm like, the day we got a wireless controller was one of the greatest days of my life. I could just sit here and like read off the screen. And then we got a printer and you could print out all the cheat codes for like Mario Kart. Oh, what a time to be alive.
Oh, yeah. Do you remember there was like Nintendo magazines back in the day?
Yup.
Where you bought them and they would have the guides for different games?
Yup.
I just had, it's kind of a terrible flashback actually of, so my first Game Boy Color game was Pokemon Red.
Nice. Great way to start.
And yeah, I finished the game, was trying to get all the Pokemon, and a family friend or something came over and was like, you know that cave where you first catch Mewtwo?
Yeah.
If you trade or release your Mewtwo and you go back to the cave, you can get another one.
Oh,
it's
no.
just, and yeah, I know.
You got my uncle works at Nintendo.
I was so gullible as a kid. But the thing is, I was like, okay, I will release this Mewtwo and not save so I can go back to the cave and check.
Right.
But I got lost in the cave, so it was like, okay, hold up one sec. I'm going to go get the guide, and muscle memory, whatever it is, made me save. And by the time I got back with the guide and got to where Mewtwo was, I was like, I am an idiot.
Oh,
I am the world's biggest idiot.
That's so sad.
That's the story of how I lost my Mewtwo on my first save and gave up my quest to be the very best.
I think everyone has a story like that, especially as like, I think anyone who grew up before the age where the internet was like readily available, I think everyone has a story like that. Like everyone started, you know, they played Super Smash Bros with their friends, and they had that one friend who was like, oh, you can unlock Sonic. Do you know you can unlock Sonic? All you got to do is like, you wipe your save data 3 times, and then you like turn Rumble on and off, and the third controller port, you call Nintendo, good to go, you have Sonic.
Oh my gosh.
Back in the good old days, back when there was that one kid on the playground who would be like, oh yeah, you know, my uncle works at Nintendo.
Works there.
There's going to be, there's a new Game Boy coming out. Be cool about it. It's going to have 4 screens. Don't worry about it.
Kids back in the day probably also had just so much more fun trolling their friends. Nowadays,
Absolutely.
people are just like, nah, don't believe you for a second.
I don't know if you fall victim to this all the time, but like, I love having really stupid debates with my friends. Like nothing heated, but just like I'm the kind of person who will legitimately sit down for 4 hours and debate who's going to win King Kong and Godzilla. Like that's how I get my fun in the day.
Oh my gosh.
So, but now it's gotten to a point where people like you have like an argument about like the meaning of a word comes up a lot with me and my friends. Like, it's like, that's not what that word means. And then you'll sit there and you'll argue about what that word means. And then someone just Googles it and they're like, oh, that person's right. And I'm like, man,
there's no fun anymore.
There's no fun. What am I doing here?
That sounds like the type of conversation or the type of debate that I would enjoy having, but I don't really have those very often. And yeah, I guess nowadays it's kind of just like if someone has that question and it's objectively Googleable. Yeah,
and they just Google it.
We'll just go. Yeah.
Me and my roommate have a rule where we don't Google unless it gets heated. Like unless someone is taking it like is getting a little bit too antsy, no one's allowed to Google because we just want to get to our own solution. But sometimes it'll be something like cereal as a soup. Is cereal a soup is something that's banned from talking about in my household. We're not allowed to talk about it because me and my best friend get so like angry because we're on exact opposite sides. I really want to know. There's no answer. Technically, it's up to you. Hey, Let's Be Best Friends exclusive. ThistleDew. Is cereal a soup?
I actually want to say yes. Is it drinkable?
It's drinkable. It is drinkable.
You eat it with a spoon out of a bowl. Okay, actually, hold up. I think it depends. It might actually depend on your milk to cereal ratio.
Okay.
If you're the type of person to like drown your cereal in milk,
Right.
that's kind of a soup. You just got, like a few like, I don't know, Wheaties floating in a bowl of milk.
Yeah. If you're here for the milk and not the cereal, then it's soup.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you load up on the cereal and you kind of just like wet it with some milk, then that's probably not a soup.
Right.
But yeah, I'm thinking of like growing up, my mom was definitely the former. That was like her way of getting me to drink more milk. She'd be like, okay, you want Lucky Charms? You're going to have this much milk with it. And so like my visual image right now is actually just a bowl of milk with like a few marshmallows floating in it. And that is definitely
little thistles walking to the table like,
yeah.
So what would you call, okay, so so if having too much milk in it makes it into soup, right? Then what do we classify the opposite end of it if you're just putting like a splash of milk in? Like if you just put like a little bit, enough to kind of wet it. What is cereal then?
A snack bowl. I don't know.
This is the thing about is cereal a soup. So I'm in the no camp. My argument being that cereal is its own thing. Like soup is over here, cereal is over here. Cereal gets its own category.
Okay.
Right? Because there's hot cereal, there's cold cereal, there's like like oatmeal is technically a cereal, like all these kinds of things.
Oh, is
right?
it?
Some people call it hot cereal. Like when I was growing up, oatmeal was called hot cereal because it was it's like a farm thing, I guess. So there was like cereal. There was cold. My mom used to sing a song in the mornings when she would try and wake us up because me and my brother were awful at waking up when we were kids. So it would be a weekend and she would try and wake us up in the morning and she would like shout upstairs and be like, wake up. And then she'd sing this song that would go, hot cereal, cold cereal, what you do to me on a Saturday night.
What?
Lives in my head rent free. She sung it every single day on the weekend to get us to wake up and eat either our hot cereal or cold cereal, depending on how we're feeling that day.
So cereal's just cereal.
To me, cereal is just cereal. My best friend in the world, who I love very dearly, I would take a bullet for this man, argues to the day he dies that cereal is in the soup category. It is a breakfast soup, and it's gotten so heated that we were like shouting at each other, like getting red in the face, so mad. And then so now we're not allowed to talk about it. Like no one is allowed to talk about a cereal soup in my house anymore because we get so tilted. But otherwise,
that's amazing. I've never thought of that before.
Really,
it really makes me question the definition of a soup. Really,
that's my thing. Is that I feel like if you are to define cereal as a soup, then where does it end? Someone in chat just said the ocean is a soup, and I guess by that definition, it is.
The ocean is a soup.
It's just it's full of fish. We eat fish. It's a soup.
Oh wait. It's a fish soup, sure.
It's a fish soup. Technically, that's my problem with a cereal soup. I think if cereal is a soup, then all the laws of the universe are by the wayside. We've abandoned God, and we have just everything is soup now. It is the ocean is soup, snow is soup, your stomach is a soup, everything is soup. And I can't in good conscience allow the world to go into such a state,
Yeah.
It would feel dishonest.
Have you seen the sandwich alignment chart?
The sandwich alignment chart?
Yes.
Okay, let me pull this up.
Okay. Yeah, it's based off of like I guess the like D&D concept of alignment.
Right. Sandwich alignment chart.
Maybe not actually, but it's essentially like what would you consider a sandwich from the most traditional strict definition of a sandwich to like a Pop-Tart is a sandwich because it is something wrapped in carbs.
Ingredient pure, so it's ingredient on top, structure on the left, Purist, neutral, and rebel. Oh,
Yeah.
Can I get this on the screen? Let me see if I can see this.
This is
I'm doing it
something that
live.
I've debated with friends before.
Okay. Let me. Okay. Let me go through this. Okay. So, hardline traditionalist is that a BLT is a sandwich. Structural purist, ingredient neutral, a chip buddy. What is a chip buddy? Is that just French fries on a bread?
It looks like French fries and ketchup between bread. I've never had a chip buddy.
I've definitely had that before, but I was just in college and very, very poor. I didn't know it was like a thing.
I've had like French fries in a sandwich or in a burrito or something before.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think I've ever had just like pure French fries between two slices of bread.
When I was in college, I worked in kitchens, and so I was quite broke. So I would like go to work and like I would just take some of the old French fries and take like an old kind of stale bun that we'd have, and I'd like put it on like the top bun of a burger bun. I'd put them in, kind of fold like a taco, and then put like hot sauce on it, and that was my dinner most nights.
Oh, wow.
Done.
Is that a sandwich?
See, here's the thing is that I have a lot of trouble as I stare at this, because I realize that I think I am of the opinion that a wrap is a sandwich, right? Like if you put in a tortilla, it's still a sandwich. So then that means like burritos, tacos, all that, like their enchiladas. Oh my God, is an enchilada a sandwich? Oh no. Oh God. Oh dear Jesus. Oh no.
Yeah. Once you start trying to define like what a sandwich is, it's a slippery slope. We've gotten to the point where we're like, are dumplings sandwiches?
Is a dumpling a sandwich?
Because if you're gonna like, if you can encase something in carbs,
right,
like a wrap, and still call it a sandwich,
right.
If you slightly change the shape and made it warm, is it also a sandwich? It's
okay. I think here's the problem that I've reached is that if I call a wrap a sandwich, then a burrito's a sandwich, which means an enchilada's a sandwich, which means a dumpling's a sandwich. So now dumplings are sandwiches.
Yeah.
And now I'm in hell. Now I'm going to be thinking about this for the rest of my life.
Now the world is a sandwich.
The world is soup a sandwich? Someone has asked. I think it's an incredible question. Is a burrito a Pop-Tart? Everything's gone to hell.
You're welcome.
Oh dear God. I'm going to be awake with this all night. I'm going to show this episode to my friend and be like, hey, I know we're not allowed to talk about cereal soup anymore. We're not, I get it. But
sandwiches.
However, I have a new thing for you, because I agree with most of this. And now that I think about it, I think a Pop-Tart now has to be a sandwich. Because,
oh no.
Okay, wait. So in America, you guys have this thing called Uncrustables, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh, we do.
We don't have those. So if an Uncrustable is a sandwich, then isn't just a Pop-Tart basically?
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. I think I'm going to have to say yes to that. Before I was going to say I am of the opinion that a Pop-Tart is not a sandwich, but Uncrustables actually just are slightly breadier Pop-Tarts.
That's all they are. And then now Hot Pockets are sandwiches, calzones are sandwiches. Pizza,
is
if you fold it in half. I was just thinking that. Oh my God.
Everything's a sandwich now.
Dear Lord. Oh my God. Has science gone too far? I think is the question we have to ask ourselves. If we define everything that becomes a sandwich, we stray further and further from God. That's all I know about that. Holy hell. This is insane. Someone just asked if we've heard about the cube rule of food identification. Do you know what the cube rule of food identification is?
I don't know what that is.
The cube rule of food. I'm always comforted by when I start typing something and the first suggestion is Reddit. That's how I know
Yes.
that it's going to be good.
That's how you know it's, yeah.
That's how I know something is happening.
I mean, I discovered Hollow Knight through Reddit, so it's got to be good, right?
Okay. Holy shit. Okay.
Cube.com.
This post that I'm seeing is saying that if you're unsatisfied with the current debates regarding whether or not something is a sandwich, you try using the cube rule of food. So if it's just one side, then it's toast. If it's two sides, it's a sandwich. If it's three sides, it's a taco. If it's four sides, it's sushi. If it's five sides, it's a soup/salad in a bread bowl. And if it's six, it's a calzone. So a Pop-Tart is not a sandwich, it is a calzone.
Oh my gosh.
Meaning that pizza folded in half is now a taco.
Yeah. Actually, the thing that blew my mind the most just now is three sides is a taco. And my brain was like, whoa. That's like.
So
wait, a hot dog is a taco.
A hot dog is a taco. This really does absolutely just shatter the meta on the sandwich conversation.
It really does. Because the Sandwich or Lemon Chart is asking, like, are tacos, are, like, is toast and a bunch of, like, these categories, like, are they sandwiches? But it's like, no,
they're all their own categories. So you heard it here first, folks. Cereal is not a soup, and if you try and argue with me, I will ban you. I will ban you on every platform I have any power on. If I'm a mod in anyone's chat, you're banned there too. It's done. I'm blocking you on Twitter, blocking you on Instagram.
I feel threatened right now. Because I'm pretty sure I just said, or I said earlier that I did. Oh my gosh.
It's okay. I can't ban you from the podcast. You're already here.
Yes.
I will go. I will go. You have been grandfathered in. Oh no, we're destroying these poor people's minds in chat. Someone just realized that Subway in fact sells tacos and not sandwiches.
Yeah, because the bread's connected.
Yeah, because they only cut the one kind of little hole to put it in. This is a disaster. You know, I always say that Let's Be Best Friends leads us into some very strange tangents that I'm never quite ready for. Did not expect to have my entire perception of reality destroyed. So I think it's officially the most successful Let's Be Best Friends we've ever had.
Nice. Well done, team.
Well done, team. How is your drawing going? I'm in love with Little Battle Pose Zote, and it is legitimately so much better than the thing that I have created.
It's going. I've come to realize how hard it is to like listen and make sure my brain is paying attention and draw at the same time. I hope I have not given any like very dumb answers where I'm like, yeah, this. And then you're just like, that was not what I was talking about at all.
I need you to understand that we just spent like 20 minutes talking about if a sandwich is a taco. There are no dumb answers in this,
okay.
This right here.
Fair enough. All right. This is Zote.
Let me see if I can get my Zote up here as well so people can see both of our creations of art.
Oh. I was smart this time and I actually made different layers for things. It's very rare that I remember to do that. Wait, your Zote is incredible.
It is. The word incredible is way too strong.
That shading though. I would never be able to do that in paint. Do you see that? That is art.
If there's the only thing I'm legitimately very proud of in terms of MS Paint art is I've been doing it for so long that I have the shortcuts on how to shade. But if MS Paint had layers, It would be the only art tool I ever used. I know it so well. I know it inside and out. I used to, when I was a kid, I would download like pictures from my favorite games or like take screenshots from my favorite games. And I would like combine characters. So I would like take Mario's body and like Mega Man's head, and I would make like Mega Mario, and I'd like fill in all the little like lines and stuff in it. So I got very good with MS Paint.
Wow. OG Photoshop.
Legitimately, we never had Photoshop until I was like, I didn't have Photoshop until I was in college, and I got it like through college.
Same. And then even then, it's like too many buttons. I don't know what to do.
I've taken so many like little workshops to be like, this is how you like, make your Photoshop, skills better. And this is how you blah, blah, blah. And still, anytime I sit down to do something in Photoshop, I'm sitting for an hour Googling, like trying to find what specific taskbar I need to be in to find the specific unlabeled button that lets me separate two layers.
Yeah.
Oh, well, shit. I think we call this a grand success. You have a much more triumphant Zote. Mine's, like I said, my favorite Zote is curmudgeonly and tired. that's
here.
Where I get
mine. I'm
mine.
gonna flip my canvas so they're hanging out.
Your Zote looks like he's ready to go into glorious combat, and then my Zote's just like tired. He's just exhausted. My Zote just wants to take a nap, have a cup of coffee.
Zote.
Just Zote being Zote. Well, damn. This
was fun.
Since the art part went so well, I'm so glad that you had fun. I want you to know that we're going to get to my absolute favorite part of the podcast. It's time for our last segment of the day. Unfortunately, our time together is winding down, but it's time for the lightning round. And what the lightning round is for you and for the people at home who haven't been here before, let me explain. The lightning round is very simple. We're going to put 1 minute on a timer. During this time, I'm going to ask you as many this or that questions as we can get through from a prepared list that I found on the internet. At the end, we will compare the scores between your answers and the answers that I have already answered to see how close we have become to becoming best friends. Because as we all know, the only way that you can become best friends is via Cosmo quizzes.
Nice.
So I have my questions here. I have a timer here. So if you're ready to go, I am ready to go.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay. In 3, 2, 1, cookies or cake?
Cookies.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Computer games or console games?
Computer games.
Pop music or rock music?
Rock music.
Stuffed animals or dolls?
Stuffed animals.
Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Pancakes.
No, waffles.
Waffles. Hot chocolate or coffee?
Hot chocolate, sure.
Hot chocolate. Morning or night?
Night.
Text message or call?
Text. Oh my God, don't ever call me, please.
Libraries or museums?
Libraries.
French or Spanish?
French.
Summer or winter?
Winter.
Love or money?
Love.
Books or movies?
What a question. Books.
My favorite part about that is our time, and my favorite part about the love or money question is it's a coin flip. Either people take time, have to consider their answer, or they're just right out with it. And I respect that you didn't even have to think about it. I respect that. I am going to tabulate.
Pancakes, though. Oh my gosh,
that was a struggle for you. And to be fair, I want you to know I'm not going to give you all the answers, but you did answer that one absolutely correctly. I need you to understand that. And that is the important question: is pancakes and waffles for me. I'm going to tabulate the score. While I do that, this is your time. Tell the people out there where they can find you, what you're doing, what you're up to, social medias, any of those kinds of links.
Sure. So yeah, I'm ThistleDew. You can find me at twitch.tv/thistle_dew. I stream twice a week. I play pretty much all Hollow Knight at this point, so if you like Hollow Knight, come by. Apart from that, I very rarely tweet at twitter.com/ThistleDew, no underscore in between, but at the end. Ooh. I know it's really confusing. And yeah, apart from that, just chilling.
Just
Not
chilling.
too much to plug. Just trying to live life one day at a time.
Just trying to live life one day at a time. And let me tell you, I think that's what we're all trying to do at the end of the day. 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14. So, out of 14 questions asked, oh God, math is so hard. Oh, I did it, mental math. Oh God, who would have guessed? The little art kid that could. Thistle, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. I had so much fun, and I don't even say that just because, you know, it's my job as the host to say that, but legitimately just sitting here and doodling and talking about video games, I feel like I could just do that literally for the rest of my life, if I'm being completely honest.
Thank you so much for having me on this podcast. It was so fun. I can't believe it's been over an hour now. Like, time just flew.
That's honestly, that for me is the best thing anyone can ever say, is when they say, oh, it didn't even feel like an hour. And I'm just like, boom, that's the feather.
Like,
that's
I
all I ever want.
Talking about tacos and sandwiches and
I just want to
waffles.
sit here and debate, is pizza toast? I want you to know that in the lightning round, you scored a grand total of 9 out of 14 points, which may not sound like the most amount of points, but what's important is that we're both waffle people, and therefore we can continue to be best friends.
Yes. Before we go, I gotta say, have you ever had what we call, or what Matt and I call, a waffle pocket? Where you take
me?
Yeah, you take a Liège waffle.
Okay.
And cut a pocket into it.
Okay.
And you can fill it with things like ice cream.
Right.
Or my favorite thing that I've had is a waffle that had bacon bits in it, and you put a poached egg in the middle.
Holy
Best breakfast
shit.
ever.
Well, I know what I'm going to do as soon as I end this podcast. As soon as I end the stream, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I want to thank you so much for being on the show. Everyone, make sure you go follow ThistleDew on Twitch, twitch.tv/ThistleDew, Thistle_dew. Absolutely phenomenal community. The vibes, immaculate. Even if you're not, necessarily into whatever game is being played, if you're not super into Hollow Knight, it's still just a very chill, very cool place to hang out. I want to thank all the people here in chat who's watching right now. I want to thank you if you're not in chat right now, if you're listening at home, if you're on Spotify, Apple, Google Playlist, Google Podcast. Make sure you share us, rate us, save us, do all those cool algorithm things, because legitimately it really helps. I mean, I don't know how much it helps in terms of algorithms because I'm not smart, but it helps me feel better about my ego, which is very important to me. Also, if you like the sweater that I'm wearing, it's a very nice, very cool sweater. It's got this nice little King Cake logo. So if you're into that, you can go to oldkingcake.com/merch. We're still selling them, and they're incredibly comfy. I have been wearing this every day for the past week and a half. So, go buy it. I also want to thank our best friends, Isabel Wing and Seth Velman, for the intro and outro to our show, Let's Be Best Friends. And that is all the time we have for this week. So remember that your mom was your best friend at one point, so give her a call, and we'll see you next week.